In my opinion, it is wrong to consider astronomy as a night science, because in the day you can also see the sun and the moon and maybe planets, and importantly you can observe this planet that we are sitting on. We are so used to calling it a planet, while just a few hundred years ago we didn't consider this as a planet, because this was Earth, this was the world, this was the entire universe for us, and everything outside, everything above us. All these, I mean, you can't see them right now, but there are stars in all these directions. They were all just, I don't know, candles, but this was the entire world. First thing to notice here is, well, you can't see the stars. And why not? Because there are so many clouds. And where do they begin? When you see far away, you can see that, okay, you can see mountains, but then you stop seeing at a point. And why does that happen? Is it because the earth is curving over there, it's like going down, and that's why you can't see it? That's an explanation. Other is that there is just so much air that at a point it becomes opaque. In water, in a small glass, looks transparent, but if you put a lot of it in a tank, then you probably can't see the bottom of the tank. So we can't see anymore, and that is because this air, it's not wrapped around the earth like an external thing. It is earth. We live below the surface of the earth by 100 kilometers or so. Okay, in my opinion, earth is like, the atmosphere is like a sea, so we can't see out of it most of the time. And when we do see out of it, we tend to see most in the topmost area. See, even now you can observe that. So we call this point zenith, and even now you can see that it's a lot clearer here, and you can see through the sky, and you can probably see Jupiter already. I think I see it, or am I tripping? I'm not sure. Different view, boom. Okay, so Venus is somewhere over here. I'll no, but okay, yeah, it is here. I can see it already. I'll see if I can show you. I have changed the एक second, I'm concentrating. I didn't become the head of the astronomy club without these skills. It is here. I need to, yeah, it is. I don't know why I can't focus on it. I'm trying to change the focus. But anyway, so it does seems there is the spherical character to the sky, because you can see at the top, you can see the sky above very clearly. I can even see a star right now. And towards the horizon, something hit my hand hard. And when you look at the horizon, it's always cloudy and it's always hard to see in all the directions. So that implies that there is a curvature like this, and the lower the altitude is, as in this angle, that is also called altitude. Well, this angle, no, wait a second, yes, this angle is called the azimuth, but I'll come to that later. This angle is called the altitude, and the lower it is, the worse it is, the atmospheric stopping of our vision through to the stars. So something is spherical, but when we look outside at these stars, we don't bother so much with it, but actually we do. That is what we have as months and years and weeks, even days, nights. Sometimes nights are longer and all of that, so we do keep track of it all. It is very important. So that means that something is changing in the sky. constantly, but in periodic patterns, because the seasons come and go periodically. So these clouds, they are a periodic phenomena. So there are these periodic things in the sky, and that is this thing, like the reason why days are longer in summer. You cannot see that reason on earth. You can't go and visit the person who is in charge of that decision. It is outside earth. It's something in the sky that does this to us. We need to take our focus off of the earth. I mean, we shouldn't think of the sky that moves. It is the earth that moves, and we are so much glued to it that we don't realize this. The title of the video will be Celestial Sphere, but I want to erase the conception that there is a celestial sphere. What is the idea of celestial sphere? I told you about this dome that we see, that we have this curved character, that at the top you have clearer, like less, you see through it easily, and so we know that there is something which is like a sphere on top of us. And we don't know what the shape it is, but then it's just easier to assume everything is a sphere. And now we can assume that all the stars inside, they are glued to that sphere. There is a sphere, okay, first of all there is a sphere that is not, like, it doesn't touch earth anywhere. It's outside earth. We don't know what the shape of the earth is yet, but we'll assume that there is a sphere far away from earth, and all these stars and planets, they are sticking to that sphere. So that is the idea of celestial sphere, that there is a sphere around us, around the earth, and the stars are sticking on it. It is a very convenient idea when you're mapping out stars, and when you're telling, so let us say I am observing a star, and then I find something interesting in it, and my only astronomer friend lives 200 kilometers away, and there is no astronomers in between. So I have to tell him somehow, bro, please observe this star, there is something going on with it. If you are just feasting and chilling, just stop that and get to the observatory. Now how do I do that? How do I tell someone which star to look at? Okay, now if it's an important star that we have named already, then I can just say, oh bro, go look at Vega, it's doing something. So if it's Vega, he will just know where to look, because, well, otherwise why are you getting paid? No, I'm kidding. Look, because, well, otherwise why are you getting paid? No, I'm kidding. So how do I tell him? Imagine if I find a new star. That's the thing. If I find a comet or a star, and then I need to grab attention